Hello everyone, welcome to the Hope Collective. Today we're going to start another pick a card. I'm going to film the introduction and pile 1 today, and you'll probably see that piles 2 and 3 will be filmed in a different location with a different background. But for right now, I am shuffling the Shadowscapes Tarot deck to pull the significator cards for each pile. Spirit guides, tap me into the collective for today's reading so that I can bring through the right cards and the right messages for what this group needs to hear from their spirit guides and their higher selves, what their higher selves and spirit guides want to communicate with these groups this week. All right, so we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And I'm actually being guided to pause the recording and go grab crystals for assisting with choosing the piles. So I will be right back. All right, so we have the amethyst cluster for pile 1. I'm trying to see if the video will focus on the amethyst cluster. I'm not sure how to make it focus, so that's a little bit unusual, isn't it? For it to refuse to focus close up because it's focused on what's far away. Well, first time for everything. We have the amethyst point for pile 2, and we have the rose quartz point for pile 3. I actually don't have these crystals at my usual filming location, but I will see if I can bring in some amethyst and rose quartz for the respective piles to preserve that a similar frequency, even though it's not going to be exactly the same. So choose the pile that you are feeling called to, that feels right to you, and I will see you at your pile. Hello and welcome to pile 3. If you tuned into the introduction or to pile 2, then you know that I am recording in a different location than where I recorded the introduction. So instead of the amethyst that I had for pile 3 at that time, I have my other bigger amethyst sitting in with this pile to lend some energy. So let's take a look at what the significator card from the Shadowscapes Tarot is for this pile. We have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles. And Spirit, is that upright or in reverse? That is in reverse. Okay, so we're going to take a look at clarifying what that means for this group today. The first thing I'm going to do, actually, is take a look at the Ace of Pentacles meaning in the Shadowscapes guidebook. The Ace is the possibility of prosperity, abundance, and security. It is the promise of wealth and well-being, of flourishing, and of reaping the rewards of hard work. So we might be getting some guidance on the obstacles too, those things with this having come out in reverse. But let's turn to some other cards for more details, more guidance, more clarification. Which deck do we want to start with, Spirit? All right, we're going to start with more of the Shadowscapes Tarot. We have the Knight of Cups coming through right away. And that did come out upright. Let's see here. That's just my singing bowl over here. Ace of Pentacles reversed, Knight of Cups, and we have the 7 of Wands. Very interesting. And I'm hearing one more Shadowscapes Tarot for now. Page of Swords reversed. The pages are all about new beginnings in the tarot, new chapters, beginning after the 10 of that suit closes out a cycle. almost a graduation is the word that's coming through. And again, though, in reverse, just like the Ace of Pentacles was in reverse. So what is going on, Spirit? Is there some sort of blockage to a new beginning for this group? No, I'm hearing, what I'm getting from Spirit is that it's not that there's a blockage, it's that you're in a moment of transition into a new cycle with the Ace and the Page. And with all this tumbling motion in the Seven of Wands, there's conflict going on, and it looks as if these animals are tumbling over each other. And in the Knight of Cups, it looks as if this knight and horse are being tumbled through the sea. And then with these being upside down, it's like you've been tumbled upside down by some sort of surprise, maybe an abrupt ending to the previous cycle, or some sort of bump in the road during the transition. Maybe the end of your previous cycle was very successful and there's nothing really blocking the beginning of the new cycle, but you've just been shaken up by a bump in the road and the transition between the two. It's definitely something unexpected, I'm hearing very clearly, has happened for this group that has shaken things up, and you're currently in a moment where the thing that's happened has happened. The thing that's happened is done, but the fallout of it has not completed and is not clear yet, and you haven't had a chance to breathe and recover from the shake-up yet. The Seven of Wands I'm being guided to check out next in terms of meanings in the guidebook. In the Shadowscapes guidebook, it says, take a stand to defend what you believe in. The world is full of strife and stiff competition, and one must have courage in facing the difficulties that come. And the Six of Wands in the tarot represents reaching a position of success that is recognized, a position of recognition, even popularity. And then the Seven of Wands represents kind of defending that throne. So it represents being in a position where you have what it takes to defend the throne, but there are, like, your success was honestly hard won, and because it was honestly earned, you have what it takes to defend your success. But there are comers for the throne. There are not necessarily attackers, but some type of energy of strife, energy of disruption. That's the word I was looking for. It doesn't have to be people intentionally attacking you. It can just be more of a situational earthquake. That's the feeling I'm getting, and a vision I kind of just got from Spirit, is this earthquake underneath the throne. And it almost feels as though the throne might split in half, but it won't. The throne is actually very solid. And your position on it, your position of having earned it, is very solid, but you may have kind of taken a tumble off it temporarily from the shakeup. Very interesting imagery coming through both on the cards and in the visions at the moment. The Knight of Cups in this guidebook says, this knight follows his dreams. He lets his intuition guide him on his journeys. If he remains honest and faithful, following his heart, he can one day taste from that cup. That North Star of following your heart and remaining honest is not a coincidence about what I channeled from Spirit about having honestly earned your place on the throne with the Seven of Wands and remaining honest and faithful and following your heart. Now, that honesty is also involved in standing up for what you believe in with the Seven of Wands. So with the shakeup, I'm hearing from Spirit, good job. You stood up for what you believed in. You remained faithful to what you believed in. You didn't lie about it when it seemed like it might have been easier to stay quiet, lie by omission, or lie outright, and maybe pretend that something didn't matter to you as much as it did. It might have seemed easier in the moment, but then later you would have had to deal with the fallout. That would have actually made life much harder. Whereas if you own what matters to you up front and enforce your boundaries up front, you have much less mess to deal with later from allowing boundaries to perhaps get violated. So that's crucial. You did a really good job, and you're going to have to continue to make those brave choices, make those brave stands, and Spirit wants you to be prepared for that, not in the sense of we want to scare you, but in the sense that they want you to rest up and nourish yourself, and kind of, they want to give you a pep talk so that you understand that what you did was right and don't doubt yourself or second guess yourself when it is time for you to stand up for yourself again. I hope my voice didn't get too far away from the microphone there. I needed to kind of do a little bit of a dance around my table to get to the light. I started off with enough sunlight for the cards to be visible, but the sun is going down where I am right now, so I needed to turn on the light. And that way you should still be able to see your cards. I always try to see if I can position it in a way where the glare off the cards won't be obscuring their images, though. Are we drawing more shadowscapes? No. Okay, I'm being guided to the Frequency Tarot next. Okay. Messages for pile 3 about where to focus their energy, what they need in this transitional phase in their life. Soul family, 55. I just got chills. Oh my gosh. Some of you, the shakeup itself may actually be that you have met soul family at an unexpected time, in an unexpected place, in an unexpected way. It showed up in a way, in a form that you would not have expected from your soul family. Feeling guided to put that right over here. 5-5. 5 is a number of transformation and change in numerology, and in the tarot often of conflict and strife because of that, because there can often be resistance to change. The 5 of Wands, the 5 of Swords, these tend to be conflict cards. 55 in the Frequency Tarot Guidebook, Soul Family. With some of you, what you are being called to defend is your soul family. For some of you, this might be found family in your earthly relationships. Whereas for others of you, you may work with spirit more and may be kind of in touch with your spirit team, your spirit guides, and there's some sort of shakeup in that otherworldly, multidimensional, other realm, plane of existence. I just completely unintentionally flipped open to number 44 in the Frequency Tarot Guidebook, and that is a number of confirmation there. 55, Soul Family. If you have drawn this card upright, it is time to put more energy into your social life. Stop waiting for people to come to you and instead take it upon yourself to go find them. Often taking action lets the universe know that we are serious enough to put energy forth towards what we are wanting. No one is going to knock on your door and ask you to be his or her friend or family. Remember, you are not looking for quantity. Quality company is what you are looking for. Brainstorm ways that you could go about meeting like-minded people. Take the initiative to connect and form relationships that are built on substance and meaning. Very interesting. This part about initiative definitely feels significant. I think it's very important in life not to settle for relationships where you are the only one always taking the initiative, and balancing that with choosing bravely to take the initiative to connect, to check in on people, make sure that they know you care about them. Balancing those two can be tricky sometimes. I really want to get some clarifying cards for this card. I'm being drawn to the Spirit Song Tarot next. Please clarify the messages that we've gotten so far, Spirit, from the Shadowscapes Tarot and the Frequency Tarot. The 7 of Crystals, so that's the 7 of Pentacles, options and results. And I'm being drawn right away to read from the guidebook for this. We have 7, 7, and we had 55 on the Soul Family card, and I read 54 in the guidebook by accident. So we definitely are getting, again, with the shivers and chills, there's just something very significant, divinely timed about what's going on for you in this transition and about this message. And I'm getting this almost sense of cosmic tension as I like wait in suspense for the message to crystallize and become more clear and slot into place. 7 of crystals. Aardvark, options and results. Intuitive Aardvark overcomes stumbling blocks that would otherwise prevent him from obtaining his goals. That is so funny with what I was talking about with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the Page of Swords in reverse. I'm so glad I got this deck. The Spirit Song deck has been like this every time for me. Intently exploring his pathway, he knows how to sniff out what's best for him. When facing friction, he roots around to find solutions and pauses and reflects before choosing the wisest road to travel. Remain patient and acknowledge all you've achieved thus far. Evaluate the results of your past choices and concentrate on your strengths while reviewing the life you're building. As you work toward manifesting your aspirations, remain confident that your efforts will prove rewarding. Keywords: options, results, direction, planning, focus, manifestation of ideas, reaping rewards. So this part about when facing friction, the Aardvark roots around to find solutions and pauses and reflects before choosing the wisest road to travel. Remain patient and acknowledge all you've achieved thus far. That does clarify, because that puts some emphasis on what came through before about this is a moment to kind of breathe, meditate, reflect, collect yourself from the shakeup, allow yourself to whoosh, come back to center, come into stillness, allow the dust to settle. That's the phrase I was looking for. It's literally the image I'm getting, because I'm being drawn back to that vision of the earthquake in the throne room, and I'm being shown the dust in that wrecked throne room settling. And as the dust settles, it will become clear to you intuitively and from the circumstances that arise physically, the information that comes to light, both in spirit and in the physical. But the spirit part is really being highlighted with this soul family card and with what I'm receiving intuitively as well. That information will come to light and make your next steps clear. At the moment, allow the dust to settle and kind of enforce your bubble that allows the dust to settle in peace. And it's interesting because with this coming out in conjunction with the don't be afraid to take initiative and connect with people, what I'm getting is actually also don't be afraid to take a pause and consider, so that you can be deliberate when you do reach out to people. Some of you might be in a moment of kind of taking some space from some of the people that are close to you, some of the people that you care about. Maybe intentionally, maybe not. Maybe it's something where the two of you have actually talked about taking some space. Maybe it's just that, it's the holidays, you're both busy, or you're traveling, you're spending time with other people, whatever the case may be. Don't be afraid to take a pause and sort of refocus your lens. And with the refocus your lens, I'm getting sort of a dual meaning there, both zooming out to the bigger picture instead of just being focused on this one connection in your life or this one event in your life with the shakeup, but also refocusing the lens on yourself, coming back to your center, coming back to stillness, so that you can regroup, call your energy back to yourself. This group, I think, would benefit from meditations that focus on calling your energy from situations where it's been scattered over the last few days, hours, months, years, and purifying that energy and bringing it back into your own body, your own energy body, where it can recirculate and nourish you. And there are definitely meditations that focus on that. You could search up meditations for calling your energy back. There are some psychic schools where that tool is called Golden Sun, so you could search up Golden Sun meditations, because in those psychic schools they imagine creating a golden sun above your head and calling your energy back to that golden sun from anywhere where it's been scattered, any other people, places, thoughts, worries, things that have happened, regrets, things you don't want to leave behind, any of that, calling that energy into the golden sun and letting the gold light purify it, and then letting it stream back into the body from the golden sun above your head. So that type of meditation would be really beneficial for purifying your thoughts, your mind, your feelings, and your aura at this time. Running energy through your chakras to recirculate things, and grounding yourself in your center to reestablish that, okay, even though there was this big monumentous shakeup, my foundation within myself and within my place in the cosmos is secure, stable. I may not know yet what's coming next, but I know me. I know what I stand for with the Seven of Wands. I know what I value. I know what my North Star is with that golden light around the cup that the Knight is searching towards. And similarly with the Page is also just in a more premature stage than the Knight of embarking on a mission. And even with the Ace of Pentacles, that speaks to a new beginning, but also a goal, a very concrete goal. And the concrete physical steps, I feel, are what is not clear to you yet. With the Page of Swords, the swords speak to mind energy, thought energy. So the thoughts need to settle in clear, and the physical course of action will become clear as you ground in what you stand for and what you believe in on a hearty level, on a heart level. With the Seven of Wands, the fire, and the cups, the emotions, the water. This is going after your Holy Grail with the Knight of Cups and that Grail imagery in the Cups cards. Don't settle for less is a really strong message with this group. Don't settle for less. But don't be afraid to take this pause to really recollect yourself so that you can be really deliberate in reaching an understanding of what, in some cases, maybe what your Holy Grail is, but in other cases, reaching an understanding or intuitive perception from the universe, from your heart, from your gut, of the next steps being laid out before you. I just heard follow the yellow brick road, the next steps being laid out before you towards that Holy Grail. Because with this group, I feel there's a strong sense of you do actually know what it is long term that you are after in your highest ideal timeline. But you know that the how often has to be left up to the universe. And this shakeup that has happened in your life has shaken up your ideas of what was possible in terms of the how. And it might be expanding those possibilities. It might also be narrowing in your focus on one specific possibility to start putting some effort into. But I get the feeling that we don't know yet and might not know for some time if that specific possibility is going to be kind of the one that strikes gold with the Ace of Pentacles, the one that pans out. So that's why you're being cautioned to be very deliberate about your actions towards investing in and pursuing that path, because you do want to take initiative, you do want to take action, you do want to show that you care to any other people involved. You do want to show the universe that this is important to you and that you are willing to commit to this path. And you also want to protect what you've already worked so hard for, protect yourself and your boundaries, and make sure that you stay rested and nourished and centered enough that as you pursue this path, when you hit more bumps in the road, when other shakeups or unexpected events occur, or simply as circumstances arise, even if they're not that bumpy, you're able to take in that new information and respond accordingly, rather than pursuing the path that is being laid out now blindly and single-mindedly, and not being open to noticing if circumstances do change and something else becomes a better route towards your Holy Grail in the future. Because right now things are in flux and there is very much a liability for things to change in that way. So there's this simultaneous, be true and fierce and committed in your actions, in your pursuits, in your investment of your energy. Be cautious and deliberate about it as well. Take pauses to reflect, make sure that you're making time and space for centering yourself, grounding yourself, clearing your mind as you move forward on this path, so that you can continue to reevaluate, not out of a sense of self-doubt, but actually the opposite, out of a sense of actually trusting yourself to receive the information and respond accordingly as new insights arise. So you're not being guided to second guess in a self-doubting way. You're being guided to really root internally into your self-knowing and open your ears from that place and listen as you move down this path, for the winds to change, for the whispers of spirit, your guides, your soul family, your soul tribe, the higher powers that you work with, the gods, deities, divinities, angels that you work with. The whispers of your angels will guide you, I just heard. But you have to listen. There's such a sense of quietness and stillness that Spirit is imparting to me, and such a deep sense of rooting. It's almost like discovering a basement below the basement. It's like you've been rooted down really solidly with that throne withstanding the earthquake, but your roots are being called to actually go even deeper, and you did not realize before this. I'm being told that they could go any deeper than they already do, but they can, and that's actually going to allow you to express out more freely, liberate yourself from self-consciousness about speaking your truth because of how deeply rooted you are in that truth. There is a close resonance in some of these messages about the North Star and speaking your truth between this pile and pile 2. So if you were called to multiple piles, consider checking that out. I'll have the link in the description box. Spirit is guiding me to the tea leaf oracles next. This reading is an adventure and a half. Every reading is a surprise because I'm always opening myself to whatever Spirit wants to bring through, rather than with a specific agenda. But some are more surprising than others, because that is how the cookie crumbles. All right. Tea leaf oracles. That's what the next deck we're going to use is. Okay. And that's what the cover looks like in case you're interested in looking up this deck yourself. What other messages? What else does pile 3 need to hear, Spirit? Please give us some illumination and some enlightenment, some light on the path for pile 3. This is a tumultuous and confusing time. There's shadows and darkness at this time of transition. Not darkness in the sense of evil, but in the sense of just some truth or insights being obscured. So help us clear things up for pile 3, please, Spirit. Crown, honor and respect will come to you. Amazing that came out, and I knew before I even flipped it over that I was going to be putting that under the 7 of Wands, and we were talking about the throne and people coming for the crown in a certain sense. Possibly. Yeah, the emphasis is not on people coming for the crown with this reading. It's very interesting. The emphasis is not on people coming for the crown, but rather on you aggressively, assertively owning it and not taking it off for anybody. That part that I said about being so rooted that it actually shakes off any self-consciousness that has been weighing you down. That's what this is speaking to. Like, keep your head high, keep your crown on, don't take it off for anybody or anything. Spirit is coming through incredibly emphatically with that one. Do not take off your crown for anyone or anything, and don't hide it. There's an energy, one of the energies that is shared between pile 2 and this pile is this energy of, there have been times in the past where you needed to hide your crown, your confidence, your regality, the things that you are excellent at, and have some superior skill at, from other people for your safety. And that time, that chapter is so completely closed for this group and for the pile 2 group. So completely closed. And because of that, it's a little bit scary at times, very fresh and new and a little disorienting to walk into a room and say, I don't care who sees me. I actually want people to see me. I want people to see my crown. That's part of what it's there for. It's there to signify to people what I'm worth, and that I know I have value, and that it's not going to be given out at bargain bin prices, the things of value that I have to offer. They're going to have to meet my boundaries with respect and honor, as per this card. That is huge for these piles. You're ready, and do not wait to feel ready. Yes, have this pause to reflect and be deliberate about your actions, but do not wait to feel ready to step into your power. You are ready. Know that Spirit is at your back, under your feet, the wind under your wings, all around you, because you are ready. And your Spirit team is chomping at the bit to see you shine. In fact, I was even called to pull out a chip of citrine from my windowsill, and that is a huge self-confidence, solar plexus, self-worth, free will, empowerment stone. So that's going to hang out with our amethyst over here to also shine light on this reading. What else do we have from the Tea Leaf Oracle, Spirit? Crib, birth or conception of a child or enterprise. Whew. Really powerful energy here. For some of you, this holy grail that you're after is a creative endeavor or business endeavor, or actually having a child. And you may have recently met someone that you are interested in starting a family with, but it's so new and there may be some shakeups in the connection, or someone that you're interested in starting a business with, where that message should come through with the soul family. So for those of you who are wondering if that's a possibility with a new connection that you just made, this is confirmation that that is a possibility. And as we spoke to with the investing in this path, but also keeping your eyes open because other paths may turn out to be the ultimate path in the end. This is confirming it's a possibility, but there's no way to know at the moment with certain things so new, certain things so in flux and in transition, whether this is going to be the connection that pans out or the enterprise that pans out. But this is confirmation that it's worth investing in finding out. There's always that element of risk in life. There are a lot of things where you just don't know until you take some action to find out. For example, building trust with someone. You're never truly going to know with anyone if you can trust them until you are in a situation where trust is required and they either show you that you can trust them or show you that you can't. Tell us more, Spirit. Please clarify what's going on here. More tea leaf first. Cracked cup, dissatisfaction with life. More than the words on this one, the image is speaking to me, because this is speaking to that same situation that we've been talking about with the tumult, the earthquake, things shaking, you currently being in a situation of, it's almost like the pieces of this cracked cup haven't even landed on this path yet. It's like the dust needs to settle and you need to regain your equilibrium, and that's the moment that you're at in life at the moment. And this is giving us strong validation from Spirit. Look at the color matching between that as well. The cracked cup and the Ace of Pentacles. Validation from Spirit that it's okay not to be okay at the moment. No one's going to feel completely solid when they've just been through an earthquake. But you do still have your crown on your head. This has opened your eyes to a new possibility with the crib. And with the crib, I'm also getting anything that is fragile, like an infant, fragile and precious in your life, has been protected from this shakeup. For some of you, that's just the possibility of this avenue towards your North Star or Holy Grail. The most precious and important things have been protected, and will continue to be protected. You're simply being called to, as we spoke to before, to keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, ground yourself deeper than you ever knew was possible, nourish yourself, allow yourself to receive nourishment so that you can continue to participate in protecting that which is important to you. Okay. More clarification is really still wanting to come through, especially with the crib and the cracked cup. And maybe also with the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Talk to me about these cards, Spirit. I'm being called to bring through more of the Spirit Song Tarot. Ooh. 10 of Shells reversed. Interesting. And that did come out reversed. 10 of Shells, which is the 10 of Cups. Blessings, well-being. It's a happy family card, so that's very interesting with the crib. With it coming out in reverse, what are you speaking to us of? We have the Knight of Cups, as well as the 10 of Cups. What is it that you are speaking to us of, Spirit, with the cups and the crib? First, we're going to get the guidebook description of the 10 of Cups from the Spirit Song Tarot. I had this card come out in another reading recently, but I believe it was upright. I could be remembering that incorrectly, but I think it was. Okay. 10 of Shells, Pelican, blessings and well-being. The reversed message is, do not allow your uplifting energies to be blocked by someone who is causing undue stress. Take the time to step away and recharge. Okay. Conflict, miscommunication, arguments, and misunderstandings are the reversed card keywords. So that does clarify and confirm the message from before about right now is a time to pause and reflect. There's this oddly solemn energy in this reading of like, this shakeup has felt serious for many of you in this group. And this card is telling you your positivity does not need to shift gears into being really solemn all the time, really grinding all the time, and not giving yourself time to rest. This shift that's taking place does not need to shift your happiness in life with that dissatisfaction with life cracked cup card having come out. That's not what this is about. There may very well be a great deal of emotional pain that has occurred with this shakeup. And this is reassuring you that your well-being is about to be restored and that you are more than capable of participating in restoring it, and that it's going to be restored to the fullest. With the Knight of Cups and 10 of Cups here next to the cracked cup, it's kind of like, okay, some of the cups got broken, but the cups that you need to fill from your well in order to feel like your metaphorical cup is full, those are not broken. Or if a cup was cracked, it was simply meant to be replaced. Maybe one possibility has ended and a new one has sprouted up in its place, or you're waiting for the dust to settle so as to see if it does. And with the crib card here, clearly a new possibility is coming to be. But with the 10 of Shells being in reverse rather than upright, it's not clear to you right now. The cake is not done baking yet. Give yourself this time to recharge and do connect to the things that make you laugh, restore your sense of positivity, affirm your sense of purpose in life and your clarity and groundedness and your sense of who you are if you're feeling disoriented. And that will set you up to restore yourself to Knight of Cups mode, where you see your North Star and you feel ready to charge ahead and you know what the next steps are. Immense reassurance there. I'm being called to read from the Knight of Cups description in the Spirit Song Tarot as well. So the Knight of Cups in the Spirit Song Tarot is represented by the flamingo spirit with the keywords charm and passion. A messenger of love and good news, Flamingo's heart leads the way in helping you to act upon your dreams. Graceful and charming, he's your enthusiastic guide in helping you follow your bliss, unearth your inner gifts, and seize an opportunity. Be receptive to your emotional energies, as they will bring your vision to life. As you work towards achieving your ambitions, be open to exploring your passions. Life is a stream of opportunity. Seek new sources of inspiration and remain focused along the way. Keywords charm, passion, affection, romance, enthusiasm, creativity, sensitive, introspection, ambitions. So with the Soul Family, the Knight of Cups does often represent a romantic suitor coming towards you, or with that message from the Soul Family, you may be interested in presenting yourself as a romantic suitor towards someone else. And if that is the case, the overall tone of this reading is yes, but not right now. Give yourself a minute to make sure that you are certain that that's what you want, and make certain of how you want to go about it, so that you don't rush in impulsively without kind of knowing what you truly want to say from your heart, and therefore kind of make a mess of things simply because you didn't convey yourself the way you actually intended to come across. With some of you, there is a romantic suitor coming towards you, and that is someone from your soul family where there is a possibility of long-term commitment and family, but that's not clear yet with the upheaval that's been going on, or simply with how new this connection is. I just bumped the table. Sorry for shaking the camera and then for putting my hand so close to it. Yeah, bumping the camera, kind of like the upheaval I was just talking about. Yeah, I feel a sense of settling. I feel that sense of reassurance. Whatever upheaval has happened, some people in this group, maybe not all, I'm getting definitely not all, are feeling very much a fear reaction, which is completely natural to the shock of whatever upheaval you went through. And there's immense reassurance from Spirit coming through. This has not damaged any of the possibilities for your future happiness and abundance. This has shifted them, but not damaged them. So if there are possibilities that have been truly cracked and broken and taken away, that means that better ones are taking their place, or at least equal ones are taking their place. If they aren't equal ones, they are better suited to you and what your Holy Grail is specifically. That's what's coming through. They may not be able to be quantified as better or worse in a sort of objective, big picture way, but in terms of what is tailored to you, they are better tailored to you, the possibilities that are coming through. Some of you, I'm getting, this shakeup has happened and you are getting better suited to you possibilities coming through because you actually kind of declared your dissatisfaction with life. And this actually echoes to a little bit of the pile 2 message as well, where with the crown, the self-empowerment, the standing in your worth and rooting down so as to express what you truly want to say, no matter whether it makes other people comfortable or pleased or not. You telling yourself, telling the people in your life, telling the universe that you want more and you deserve more, and you really standing in that energy may actually be what has caused this shakeup. And the upheaval of the shakeup is not cause for you to second guess what you've done or go, oh my God, what have I done? Or second guess whether you perhaps did the wrong thing. It's actually confirmation that you did the right thing and are powerfully shaking up things in your life that maybe you were just settling for in favor of things that will truly light you up. and it's just not clear how those things are going to evolve and germinate from the seed into a plant that can blossom and bear fruit yet. But you are seeing these seeds being planted at this moment. For some of you, it was with a specific connection that you expressed your dissatisfaction, and there is this moment of upheaval within the connection of, and how is it going to move forward? Maybe we successfully had a conversation about our needs and we got clear, but is it going to be put into action? And that's where what I said before about trust comes in. You simply can't in life ever know if you can trust someone until it's put to the test. And also based on when you do have those moments of those conversations with them, how do they respond? So if you have advocated for yourself with someone and they've responded positively by not telling you were too much, not saying you were out of line, but actually really listening and trying to work with you and trying to look out for you, that's something to celebrate. It may not feel good at the moment because you may still be in kind of those conflicted feelings of the Seven of Wands, those feelings of, I feel like I kind of just had to defend myself. Even though this person maybe really genuinely cares about me and wasn't attacking me, I still had to kind of declare and enforce my boundaries with them. So I feel kind of as if I've been defending myself from an attack, even if no one was truly intentionally attacking me. That feeling is coming through. If it doesn't resonate, then just leave it and take what does. But that is the feeling coming through for many of you here. Okay, so that really clarified very strongly the cracked cup in the crib, but I feel like we are still seeking more clarification on the Ace of Pentacles reversed, and I am being drawn to the Ostara Tarot next. That's what that deck looks like if you're interested in it. Interesting. I haven't used this deck in a hot minute. I love this deck. Okay. Spirit, what clarification needs to come through about the Ace of Pentacles? What clarification can we provide pile 3? What insights does pile 3 need to hear? Shuffle more. I thought I saw a card sticking out of the deck, but no, we're shuffling more. Okay, this one. Seven of Swords. We have 3 sevens on the table now. 7 of Wands, 7 of Pentacles, and 7 of Swords. 7, 7, 7. Definitely significant here. 7 of Swords. Let me see what the Ostara Tarot guidebook says about it. 7 of Swords is typically a card of sneakiness and deception and deceit. Someone trying to get away with something. Often, the most common meaning in my personal experience is someone trying to kind of steal something from you, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it's you being protected from that, or someone thinking they can get away with something without being caught, but they get caught, or also you not being sure if you can get away with something that is actually for the good of the situation. You're being worried that something is going to shut that down or block it, and that you actually being able to quote unquote get away with it or make that go through, even though it seemed like you were kind of just barely scraping in at the last second, or by the skin of your teeth. That's the energy that I'm feeling the strongest with this pile. Sometimes it also comes through as a reminder to not think you can cut corners in areas of importance in life, and to, like we said with the 7 of Wands, keep honest, keep true, keep faithful to your vision. So these are all good reminders, but the energy that's coming through strongest is like, we've been talking about new possibilities unfolding and things being in flux. And these new possibilities are tenuous at the moment, but there is a real chance for you to kind of scrape them through, squeeze through. That is definitely a message coming through, but I think there's also more to read from this card. So I want to read what this guidebook has to say about the 7 of Swords. I am getting take the chance from Spirit, though. Like, you're worried that this is like, ooh, okay. The message from Spirit is unfolding more. some of you in this pile, most of you, all of you, whatever it may be, are worried about, you're like seeing this new possibility as something that is either too good to be true or just is improbable in some way, something you wouldn't be able to get away with. And that's not true. Things are in flux and not completely stable at the moment, and it is tricky, and it's not for sure whether this is actually the best, gonna lead to the best possible outcome. But do take the chance, because this is worth taking a chance on. It's kind of like the odds, maybe 1 in a million right now, but if that 1 in a million works, oh boy, that's going to be the best option by far. So it's like striking gold. That's where this caution to be deliberate comes through, because this isn't, saying high risk and high reward doesn't feel completely accurate here, because you have the space and the guidance, the protection in this situation to protect yourself from really risky outcomes. But there is a little bit of a high risk, high reward situation going on, in the sense that there is a very real risk that this opportunity won't work out, but it's worth it, because the potential reward is so great, and because you do have the intelligence, the clarity, the ability to pace yourself, the guidance from spirit and from trusted people around you, trusted mentors, the respect in your community, the protection from people around you and spirit, to really make sure that you are able to kind of pull out before, I was thinking like pull out of a car before it wrecks, or pull out of a train before it wrecks. That's what I was thinking, but then the vision kind of fell through on me, and I was like, how do I put that into a non-metaphorical way? But there we go, that's the metaphor. You are protected enough to pursue this possibility, but you have to pursue it with your eyes and ears open, and regularly pausing to reflect and check in and reevaluate, because there is an element of risk here. But it's worth it, and you are protected as long as you continue to stay in touch with your guidance, your gut instinct, your self-preservation instincts, and most of all, your boundaries. Your feelings tell you what your boundaries are and whether they're being honored or crossed at any given moment. So yes, that's another message coming from the Seven of Swords. Don't allow your boundaries to be crossed. Part of the meditating regularly, keeping your eyes and ears sharp, keeping a weather eye on the horizon, is so that you will spot it a mile off if something does try to sneakily manipulate your boundaries, or sneakily take advantage of a blind spot. You really want to be checking your blind spots as you pursue this path, because you have more than enough resources to protect yourself from the risk of this high risk, high reward opportunity. It's just going to require that you actively check your blind spots throughout, so that way any risk does not sneak up and catch you off guard. So I'm actually being told now that channeled message has unfolded fully, not to check the guidebook for more messages about the Seven of Swords. I just heard "not my circus, not my monkeys" as I was looking at these circus tents in the background. So there's also a message there from the Seven of Swords of keep your eyes on your blind spots in your own circus. One of the risks in this path, this opportunity that you have unfolding before you, is that you get so caught up in someone else's business, maybe trying to protect someone else, or look out for someone else, or potentially just being really intrigued or distracted by someone else, and therefore missing someone stealing something from your own circus, your own tent. Keep your eyes on your own circus. Of course, express to people that you care about them, look out for the people you care about, but never in a way that causes you to abandon yourself. Because if you do enter into that level of distraction or loss of self-protection, loss of contact with your own boundaries, that's when those boundaries become permeable enough to be taken advantage of. We want to be permeable in the sense of allowing resources and love to come in, but not in the sense of our boundaries being able to be taken advantage of. This message is definitely winding down and feeling complete. Last messages for this group, Spirit. Where do we want to pull last messages from? I'm being drawn to the Energy Oracle cards deck. That's what that deck looks like. Final messages final pieces of advice and guidance for group 3. Tap me into group 3, spirit guides, spirit team. And that, I didn't have to shuffle long for that one to pop out. 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron. This came out in a reading recently, 40 in the deck. Metatron as an archangel is often seen as the voice of God or of Source or the universe. One of the clearest channels of messages from the universe. So this does speak to both two of the things that we spoke to earlier. Rooting down really clearly in your truth and being expressive of it fearlessly without holding back, without hiding any piece of it, especially if there is like a new connection that you are embarking on and investing in. Give that connection, regardless of whether it's, romantic, friendship, family, business. I'm getting especially if it's romantic and you see this person as a potential long-term partner, but even in other areas of your life, set you and this other person or this other group of people up for success the best by not holding anything back. If you catch yourself self-censoring, going, oh, I shouldn't really ask that, or I shouldn't bother them, check in with yourself, because most likely you actually are going to want to ask that. It's part of protecting your boundaries, and it's part of getting a sense of theirs so that you can look out for their boundaries as well, and creating opportunities for them to tell you, help you understand them, creating opportunities for as much information as possible to be gathered so that you really have as much foresight as possible going into this path. And in terms of protecting your emotional boundaries, one of the easiest ways to weaken them is with self-doubt, second-guessing, and that definitely applies to second-guessing what you say to people, second-guessing what you ask people. If you've thought of asking it, you have a reason. If you've thought of saying it, you have a reason. That doesn't mean say everything you think, especially without considering its impact on other people or how you say it. So do consider, pause and reflect and consider, why is it that I want to say this? What is it that my heart, with the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Cups, what is it that my heart truly wants to say? What is it that my heart truly wants to say? And how do I want to say it? And if something comes up in that self-examination process that tells you, okay, this actually is something for me to address internally and not with the other person, great, do that. But most of the time, really just use that as a check-in for how you want to say the thing to the person, rather than flinching away, cringing away, shrinking yourself and holding back. And that was a huge message in pile 2 as well. Don't shrink yourself. Not the time for that. Let your crown be seen. The crown chakra. Okay, we're going to connect that into Metatron as well. So that's speaking to one of the throat chakra ways that Metatron manifests. Another would be the keeping your ears open for spiritual guidance. A lot of you in this pile must work with spirit, with the soul family and Metatron and the crown chakra and all of this, the Holy Grail. So much spiritual significance and symbolism in this pile. The wings on Metatron and all that sparkling source energy, universe energy around this Metatron figure. Some of you, Metatron is one of your spirit guides. That just came through incredibly strongly. And now is a time to work with him devotedly and listen and speak with him. That's coming through hugely. Thank you, Metatron, for bringing that forward. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But with that voice of God aspect of Metatron, that's related to why I was really being called to tell you to open your ears and listen as you move forward on this path. The whispers of spirit will guide you. The whispers of your angels will guide you. You have the voice of God whispering in your ear, whether you pray directly to Source, whether it is Metatron that you work with, whether it's other angels or guides that you work with. Metatron is coming through heavily for this pile. So if you haven't worked with him before, you may want to start praying to Metatron and seeing what you get back, because he will speak with you if you are in this pile. That is being made extremely clear to me. He will speak with you if you are in this pile, if this is a match for you. Whew. And that will be how you get some of your downloads, some of your guidance for how to move forward on this path, or whether to retract and move to a different path, whether to shift gears, whether to switch tracks like a train. This is going to be part of how you keep your hand on the... Gosh, what is that expression? That expression just left my head. Like, I'm getting an image of like keeping your eye on a meter to watch and make sure things don't boil over, and make sure that you shift tracks if they are about to boil over. And I think there's some expressions that have to do with that have just left my... that have just vacated the premises of my mind. Metatron is even giggling at me. But I got the point across, he says, so that's good. But Metatron also relates to the third eye chakra, and with this idea of receiving, because with this idea of like the voice of God, right, that's obviously throat chakra related, but it's also related to seeing clearly, especially on other dimensions and in the spiritual realms. So that's where the third eye comes from. Also seeing yourself clearly, and the way that you impact others clearly, the way others influence and impact you, and your place in the world and in your relationships. Seeing all of that clearly is so key to however this shifting situation is unfolding. So ask Metatron. He wants you to ask him to help you see things clearly as you move forward on this path. He is very much willing and ready and at attention to help with that, to be a guiding light with that. And then the crown chakra is one of the ways that we really receive spiritual downloads, messages from spirit, God, source, the universe, spirit guides. So opening your crown and protecting it are very key here in terms of listening, guarding your clarity of perspective and your purity of perspective, like keeping yourself a clear channel for your own truth and the truth that the universe wants to impart to you. That's part of what opening the crown and protecting it is. It's protecting your boundaries so that you gatekeep how others get to influence your thoughts, the way you see yourself, the way you see the world, the way you see what possibilities are available to you, rather than allowing other people to limit or distort what possibilities are available to you, what actions you should take, how you should see yourself. Huge overlap with pile 2 here. So that purity and clarity of your channel with the crown chakra is huge, huge, huge for this group. And you are more than able to maintain that strong container, strong channel, strong protection, and clarity and purity. And the universe honors, Metatron is saying, the universe honors the pure essence, the purity of the essence and energy that you have protected within yourself and cultivated within yourself. There are many forces that try to sway people, distort how they see things and how they interact with the world, and cause many people to have their actions and thoughts corrupted and their energies corrupted. And the universe really sees and honors the ways that you have recovered from that and protected yourself from that. Honor and respect will come to you with the crown. Honor yourself in that and protect it. Use it wisely. Do not be afraid to let it be seen, and also protect it. Use your discernment, use your wisdom. Share your wisdom, but also use your wisdom about protecting yourself assertively, defending yourself assertively, standing up for yourself vocally, and keeping things close to your chest when that is what's called for, not out of holding back and hiding, but simply out of preserving the purity of your vision, your plans, your North Star, your love for the world and for yourself and for your mission. This group 99% has a spiritual mission or some kind of heart-centered or spirit-centered mission that is driving you and motivating you in life. And Metatron is here to really help you see clearly, bring your vision and your mission about, filter out the noise, preserve the purity of what you have to offer and what you receive in terms of guidance, nourishment, energy, and impact and influence from others. And also call on Metatron to really strengthen your communication with others, to really protect your communication with your soul family, with these new business connections, romantic connections, friend or family connections. Call on Metatron to help you purify those lines of communication. For some of you who work with spirit, those lines of communication are going to be more than verbal. They're going to be the energetic lines of communication between you and this other person, potentially even on a thought level, but definitely on an emotional, empathic level. With sixth chakra, sixth dimension, also in terms of our multidimensional reality, does connect to the dimension on which our thoughts kind of transmit to each other. It's a really oversimplified and therefore inaccurate way to put it, but just to encapsulate what came through to me there, that is a channel that in this time of upheaval, as you let the dust settle, these channels of communication and of the empathic and psychic and thought and energy and emotion-based connections between you and others around you really need to be clarified as the dust settles. So call on Archangel Metatron, the universe, source, your guides to help you with that, especially Archangel Metatron. He's really bringing through a clearing and healing and fortifying of the containers for those connections, which is incredibly beautiful. Such an unexpected blessing to have here in this reading today, that not only clearing the channels for the connection, but also fortifying the containers for them is such an impactful blessing. So thank you for that, Archangel Metatron. That is something that will really help this group going forward, and I cannot express my gratitude enough. Thank you so much for helping us in this time of upheaval, Archangel Metatron. This will ease and smooth the transition a great deal for this group. So thank you, thank you, thank you. With all the air element in the throat, third eye, and crown, you may feel called to kind of speak to the wind, to speak to, interact with, listen to, or pray to or with Archangel Metatron. That's coming through. Especially if you live near water, like wind over the water is especially good for purifying your energy and thoughts and your communication with Archangel Metatron. Certainly not the only way to do it, or you're not limited if you don't have access to a body of water near you, or if it's not a windy day, but just something to keep in mind. That's a tidbit that you brought in. The wind of your own breath counts. So doing breath work meditation is kind of a double whammy for you to soothe and regulate your nervous system and clear your mind, and also focus on the whispers of the angels in your ears, as we spoke about before, the wind beneath your wings from them. Very strong support coming through with those wings, the wind beneath your wings, the whispers in your ear. So much love, loving support, encouragement, really fortifying and establishing and rooting, packing in the roots of your self-esteem, your confidence, your self-worth. Really beautifully being fortified here, in part, mostly just because you are worth it and you matter, but also in part in service to you really communicating clearly and uncompromisingly, unflinchingly with the people that are important at this moment in your life, so that, again, that the communication serves the mission that you are working towards, instead of potentially creating weak chinks in the armor of your pursuit of these passions, these purposes, that communication. And your, like, a theme again that is in common with pile 2 in this group, what you are realizing as you are called to no longer hide to protect yourself is that it actually serves not only yourself but others for you to show yourself and to demand your boundaries be respected and be very, very, very frank and assertive. Sometimes that will call for fierceness, sometimes it will call for calmness. You have to be discerning about when it's time to speak your mind quietly versus loudly, when it's time to speak your mind with words versus by actions or even walking away. So those things are all situational, but what is universal is that you honoring your truth fiercely is actually beneficial to the people around you and to the long-term effects and impact of your purpose and mission on the greater universe. It's not something that has a selfish and abusive impact on the people around you. It's not something that has a toxic impact. It's not something where you're bothering people. It's not something where you're lording over people or domineering. It's something where you are actually showing up as your highest and best self to defend and demand what is right and what is needed, what is called for, what is beneficial and for the highest good of all. So have faith in that about yourself and stand really strong in that about yourself. Sometimes it may seem like it's just little things, but you cultivating that ability and willingness and readiness to vocalize, stand up for yourself, express your wants and needs, express your boundaries, enforce them, all of it is part of this long-term mission that you are accomplishing. And that is in service of others as well as yourself. So do not be shy. The world needs you. The universe needs this. So do not be shy. Now is not the time for that. Your mission is calling you to honor and love yourself in this expressive, communicative, out loud, standing on all 10 toes and digging your heels in about what really matters. The universe is calling for that because the universe is aligned with your purpose. Your purpose is aligned with the highest and best good. Your mission is aligned with the highest and best good of the universe. So therefore, the universe actually wants you to speak your mind. You are not someone who needs to kind of step aside and let others have the platform right now. You are someone who needs to, at this moment, and in many moments to come, stand up and lead by example and call others to join you. Rather than kind of dancing around things or sugarcoating them or trying to pad them or go, oh, if you want, or, kneecapping your sentences with that type of language is not what you are about at this time, and you're not supposed to be. So thank you so much for stepping into your truth and your power. The universe and Archangel Metatron especially are really impressing upon me how important your mission is for the universe and how important you standing in your voice, owning it, and spreading it far and wide, shouting from the rooftops, and being very clear in your needs and demands and expression and communication with those who are closer to you than the rooftops. That's so important for you stepping into your mission, stepping into your crown, stepping into your leadership. Also, if you are looking to start a family, extremely important for the example that you provide to your children. So that's a last little tidbit of motivation. Even if you don't plan to have children, remember that the people around you learn from your example. Think about, what would I want my child, if I had one, to learn from my example? How would I want them to protect themselves? And do that for yourself. Thank you so much for being here, Group 3. I hope you have very happy holidays. I am wishing you the best with the calm after the storm that you have just been through. And I cannot wait to serve you more with more messages from spirit guides in the future as you continue along this blessed, protected, sacred, and important path. There is a sigil of protection being woven over you by Archangel Metatron that I am channeling through at this time. if you choose to accept that protection, if it resonates with you, please allow that protection to envelop you like a web of light, and allow it to soak in to fortify your strength, your boundaries, your channels of communication with spirit and with others in terms of the crown chakra, throat chakra, third eye. Those channels of communication with spirit deserve to be protected from muddy waters or from forces that would muddy the waters. And your channels of communication with others, both in other realms and on this realm, deserve to be protected so that you can communicate effectively and be heard and have the impact you wish to have, or you desire to have and need to have, and so that you can receive messages clearly from other people without overlaying projections from emotional triggers on other people's messages, and so that you can clarify what they really mean when projections are getting triggered. And is there anything else? Because that last message I was not expecting, and I'm so grateful. Thank you, Metatron. He's saying that is complete, and so it is. May you be free, sovereign, protected, loved, nourished, respected, and even revered. Thank you, Pile 3, and have a great week.